earth trembles beneath my feet.
Protect us from the machine's spirit unrest, for without his gifts our sacrifices are fruitless. You can barely hear the voice of the young astropath standing very still next to the bulky mechanism, his face frozen in a mask of despair. His anemic hands are pressed onto his chest, clutching crumpled strips of thick paper. He hears you approach and composes himself. The engine seer, his head lowered, does not so much as glance in your direction. With his hands folded underneath his robe, he makes a barely audible, unpleasant sound, a prayer in Technalingua. What is going on here? The sacred complier is ailing, your lordship. A gloom has come over the machine spirit, and they are disturbing the mechanism operation. The 12th row of the drum is now adding incorrect symbols. The man shows you a stack of papers, and you notice at once that the rows of squiggles in each line all end with the same glyph. We summon the servants of the Omniscia, but the machine spirits are none too eager to heed their prayers. The esteemed engine seer is in a state of tech prayer trance and hasn't moved from the spot for a few days. He shrinks his head into the shoulders timidly. I have the audacity to think the sacred complier could be better helped by examining its parts. But who am I to question the secret knowledge of the Adeptus Mechanicus? How did you let this happen? Forgive me, your lordship, but I do not know the answer. The astropath lowered his voice to a whisper, glancing at the praying engine seer. I'm afraid even the Adeptus Mechanicus don't fully comprehend the workings of this mechanism. We are only knowledgeable on the surface-level machines. The receivers commit the messages to paper. The transcribers sort the metal imaginary by seismic category and feed it into the thesaurus core. And then the sacred complier supplements the messages with lists of symbols and their interpretations. However, the mechanism extends far deeper into the bowels of the ship. Therefore, I wouldn't even venture a guess at the possible source of this trouble. Why such a tribe of an error? The young man exclaims in astonishment. Imagine a single extra character creeping its way into the coordinates for warp jump and sending the flagship to the center of the star. Imagine the world disloyal becoming is loyal, resulting in thousands of your faithful servants falling victim to treachery. Nothing is a triumph to our astropath tribe. Let us see if there is any way I can help.
Triumphant, as always.
Scraps of paper are stuck deep inside the mechanism, causing it to rattle terribly. Cleaning the machine's parts and anointing them with sacred unguents restores the machine to its clear, cleaning voice.
Ruinous favor prevails.
Once clean of the candle wax that had seeped inside, the inner workings of the interpreter move much more easily.
Predictable.
The sensors of the text correcting calibrator are dead. A prayer to the Omniscia makes the new sensors springs to life.
Triumphant as always.
The miniature screens are displaying red error message. You command the machine to run diagnostic and the message disappears.
true power. Bitter taste of defeat.
The transcriber quills and leaving blots of paper. After a couple of checks, you are left holding the broken manipulator and quill in your hands. You will no longer be disruption. Your Lordship, the astropath smiled at you, the shy, awkward smile of someone unused to smiling. The second mechanism is working again with no disruption. A trembling hand, the psyche hands you a strip of paper with smooth rows of edge characters, this time containing no errors. The engine seer rises proudly to his feet and says in low Gothic, a language he clearly has not had much practice in. With sacred words and virtuous thoughts turned towards the machine god, I have been able to pacify this mechanism wayward spirit. The Omniscience blessed. I should rather say it was my efforts that helped make the machine operational. The engine seer's eyes you respectively but with very sincere and poorly concealed confusion. I recommend installing 2 incense burning units in this compartment to prevent the spirit's continued anger. The units Zahari Wage will be provided with the list of minor recommendations, 142 in total, for improvements to this compartment maintenance. Failure to implement will result in sanction on the part of the Adaptus Mechanicus priesthood.
The world will bow.
Your Lordship, I have something for you. The choir master hands you a sheet of paper with uniform lines of match type etched into it. Thanks to your assistance in repairing the complier, we have been able to interpret a most curious message. It contains a call sign that agents of the renegade Vogtvier use in their especially important reports. Would it be a message from Vogtvier? He was more likely the intended recipient. When was the signal sent? I cannot say with certainty, Your Lordship. Following the repair work, I went through text and had defied decoding before. This signal had lost its way in the bowels of the mechanism. It could be a week old or years. What does it say? Only a few words. Lilameth or Dianthus 11. The winds have ceased. It is done. Now Lilimet is Vogtvier call sign for special reports. The rest is a code we are unfamiliar with. That said, we know where to look for the truth. The Odnantus 11 system. I will get to the bottom of this message. I have no doubts that you will.
Intriguing.
The half-factotum Giannis Dano greets you with a cool smile and the merest hint of a bow. Pleasure to see you, Lord Captain. How may I be your assistance? Have you made a confession lately? Your Lordship, you are truly masterful at springing an unexpected question on a man. However, I must admit I don't quite understand this one. The orphans on the ship have already been provided with the bare essential, have they not? The factotum fidgeted nervously with the rings of his finger until he musters the courage to reply. I will not pry into how your Lordship found out about my confession. I suppose it raised some questions for you. You have a good heart, it seems. I am surprised. As am I, to tell the truth. Sensitivity is a vice in one responsible for ensuring the dynasty prosperity. However, I cannot help it, which is why I underburden my soul in confession. You are not scheming to misappropriate funds for the orphans' benefit, are you? Please, no skimming. Everything is duly accounted for. We have high priority expenditure items, which is why the orphans only get the bare necessities. Giannis sighs heavily. They are clothed and aren't starving, but for some reason I find scant comfort in rational arguments. Personal items, gifts on special occasions, or nutriments for their growing bodies would certainly make a little orphan happier. Lavish spending is out of order. Concentrate on your duties. By all means, your Lordship. All the substantiated expenses for the good of the dynasty. Would you like to discuss something else? When you approach, Victus pulls away from fine, turning another vox and bows ahead. Lord Captain, the ship informed me out of our imminent meeting. The loop and clippers, the confessions. I assume you heard my confession message, Victus replies without a hint of awkwardness. Do you wish to talk about it? The important question is why. I was fault checking the Vox devices in the ship reliquary. Message recording works, but deletion does not. You have helped me establish that. Thank you. Wait, why Loop and Klepper specifically? At that time I had nothing to repent of, so I dictated an expert from an old letter to my mother. As you heard, I contain arguments in favor of keeping Loop and Kleppers on the ship. You can still recite it from memory. Victus, I want a pair of Kleppers aboard the ship. I am going to quote my mother's response. This is impossible. You see, the species went extinct several centuries ago. Victus's voice grows ever so slightly warmer. I am very sorry, Lord Captain. There aren't any Kleppers to be had. The confession perplexes the initiate. Find a way to delete it, and we shall forget about it. Will do, Lord Captain. Would you like to discuss other matters? A sturdily built man with an augmented jaw stands at attention. The dark circles under his eyes speak to many sleepless nights, but his voice is loud and spirited. Welcome to Freight Hub LD 987-A14, Lord Captain. I am Edok Fronso, Captain of the Enforcers in Lower Deck Bay LD-A14. The Master at Arms has assigned me to be your liaison for the duration of your stay here. Lord Captain, would you like to inspect the control room or to begin your search for the Temple of the Bloodspot Web? He says, the last part with obvious concern. It seems that you were prepared for my visit. How did you and Sobrak know I was coming now? The Master at Arms ordered us to be on standby after the Bloodspot Web openly invited you to visit the temple. We have been awaiting your arrival every day since then, Lord Captain. Do you know how to reach the temple? I'm sorry, Lord Captain, I do not. No one knows. The cultists are too adept at hiding and keeping their secrets, and it worried me that you might have to walk around the entire compartment looking for the temple. Why are you worried? Is there a problem with the compartment? The lower decks are not suitable for someone of your status, and it's not just the grime of the crowds of British labourers. I suspect that the entrance to the Temple of Death is hidden in some dark corner where you might encounter criminals or contagious outcasts. With the kind of riffraff that dwells here, you might even be attacked. Cassia shivers. Such a ghastly place you describe. We are not headed there, are we, Lord Captain? He frowns. To put it bluntly, although the bay performs its functions well, even in its more civilized sections are sorely lacking in discipline. I was only assigned recently, so I haven't had time to straighten everything up, since doing so will require making some serious changes. I'm not inventing excuses, Lord Captain. As the officer in charge, I accept full responsibility for what takes place in this compartment. Being assigned here almost seems like an exile. Did you commit an infraction? Frenzo shook his head fiercely. No, Lord Captain, quite the opposite. I was commanded for my service. This compartment has always been a troublesome one, and the Master at Arms assigned me here because she thought highly of my merits. I am honored to have earned Master Sobrak's trust. What do lower deck officers think of Jocasta? Mr. Sobrak possesses all the personal and professional qualities required to lead the Enforcer efficiently, Lord Captain. He enunciates each word with pride, but you note drops of sweat on his brow. Rejoice, friends, go, for the Lord Captain himself had the designate to deal with your problems. Rest assured, I will provide you with some crucial guidance once I'm done inspecting the bay. But, Franco stopped himself mid-protest and assumed a more compliant tone. In that case, I urge you to remain vigilant. The freight trains move at great speed, and the inhabitants of the residential units are despicable rabble. One must never drop one's guard around them, and Emperor preserve you from stumbling into the persistence pit. That's where the madmen and the lepers live. Tell me about the station. Hub LD-987-A14 connects the lower decks freight, residential and artillery base. Our task is to monitor the flow of the labor force and prevent supply disruption between bays. Who maintains the hub? Traffic controllers. They are technomats trained by priests of the machine cult to keep the sacred cogitators in working order and prevent train collisions. The consequences of an incident like that would be easy to imagine, especially if one of the trains were carrying macrocannon ordnance. Also employed here are the Enforcer Squad, a team of inferi, the clerk who keep cargo records, and a Medicaid officer, a fine chap whose medicine of choice is a bullet. May the God Emperors forgive him. Not every void ship can boast of its own railway. This is true. Usually higher class ships are the ones that get trains, but it's far from greatest thing on a rock trader warrant can see done. The credit here goes to Lady Theodora Predecessor, on whose orders the Adeptus Mechanicus assisted in birthing this miracle of sacred engineering from the womb of the dynasty's flagship. What is the situation on the lower deck? Most of the locals unload trains as provisions. We give maintenance jobs to the more capable ones. The rest are reserved workforce. Whenever crew are lost on a deck, we find replacements from among those rats. And if extra hands are needed anywhere else, there are always more than enough volunteers eager to work for rations. They even queue for jobs. And the rubble cause you no problems, I hope? Surely you are joking, Lord Captain. The rabble are base in the nature, and mutiny is always in their minds. They steal whatever they can get their hands on, and lately they've moved from rations to tinned food to weapons. We confiscate these regularly, of course, and keep the serfs meek and terrified. That's the only way we can protect the mindless herd from themselves. Oh, another thing the bastards do on regular basis is build their shacks in front of service tunnel entrance. That has delayed the arrival of Inferno's brigades during several emergencies and caused air to power supply problems in adjacent base. We burned those saboteurs along with their shacks, but they just keep pressing on regardless. Mutiny is rubble. How paranoid of you. To the best of my knowledge, being paranoid is practically a requirement in my line of work. In any case, the rabble are always plotting. Take my words for it. The cult of Bloodsport Web has a presence in this compartment, does it not? This is correct. The enforcers do not bar them from carrying out their sacred duties, he scowls. As irregular as it is to have armed crew members set up a secret hideout forbidden to the enforcers, and that they can go around dispensing bloody justice. What do you know about them? Not much. I'm always trying to learn more, given that they like to pay visits to my compartment. Frenzo scratches his head thinking. The spinners honor the Emperor through death. They kill notorious reprobates and heretics. Sometimes they kill righteous folk, and other times even seemingly at random. Their rituals are morbid and their prayers are strange. Anyone not initiated in the rites would struggle to make any sense of them. Do you not take issue with death cultists killing people on the territory? Frenzo avoids looking at Kilbreth. I do not, Lord Captain, but the cult is authorized to exist on the ship, which means the activities down here are not to be interfered with. I see. Dismissed. The Emperor protects Lord Captain.
Let's seize the opportunity.
It is welcome. Is this welcome you give the rogue trader? Abelard nostrils flare in anger. Whoever had this audacity to leave behind this appalling symbol, I will see to it that the Master at Arms calls them to account himself. The corner of the captain's mouth twitches nervously as he mutters. Damn those. How did they even... You have seen this sort of symbol before. Death cultists carve bleeding marks like this into their own skin. Kibalach carves the same symbol on the back of her hand with a knife and whispers prayer. Domin Nerov Vox. Remember this sign. It is the beginning of our quest and the first blood trail. Explain yourself. What is this mess? Look, Captain, one of the cultists must have sneaked in here and left his mark. Or perhaps they forced someone to do it. It's a disgrace that they can pull such stunts right under my nose, but at least I can assure you that the mark is not dangerous. resembles one of the symbols associated with the Bloodspawn web. What was it called again? The Song of Trailing Blood, I think. It's a prayer familiar to many in this compartment. We've heard spinning sage when they, perform this signature act of service to the Empire. He takes a deep breath. The soundless shadows sank into the dark. Slashes feast crescendo, a fatal dance. Blades sung in tempo, each edge an echo. Twin odes to their throes. Now on her sacred blood, as she once trod the back of foes, thread countless souls, but not no. Why would they leave this mark here? Maybe it's something to do with them inviting you to visit the temple. Maybe they are trying to get your attention. Apologies, my lord captain. I'm no good at deciphering the distrusting, disturbed rules. You memorized the verse. Why? When I took up my post here, I made sure to familiarize myself with all the particular qualities of this compartment. I soon heard about the verse and decided to investigate. I questioned a number of people who followed the blasphemous web as I was trying to figure out if there was anything pernicious about it. And eventually I learned the whole thing, he frowns. The words are certainly strange, but it's nothing worse than that, it seems. What is this song of trailing blood? From what I can tell, it's something like a prayer with several verses that tell about the life of one of the good saints. Irene or the Archie Spider, as they call her. So I'm invited to follow a trail of blood and sins. I accept the spirit's invitation. I hope you find what you're looking for and the return of the Apodex safely.
Powers
Do we truly have to be here? I am not even sure what is making me more nauseous. These horrid colors, or the smell.
This is the last of the hub's vials for the work cycle. Do you have any idea how much it costs? 357 ration cards. That's all I've got, I swear. Spend the rest of the road again, I'm guessing. I'm not doing you any more favors. Give up the drink or get used to the life in the pestilence pit. I hope you get hit by train.
I tread a path unexplored. Mercy, please save me. The old monk gasped for air through burnt lips, slipping in and out of delirium. His skin is dripping from his gaunt body like melted wax from the candle. His eyes, somehow intact, alive, clear and filled with pain, stare at you from under his caked eyes. Do you know anything about his mouth next to you? Tries to turn his head, his blackened skin clenches as it opens into scarlet cracks. A spinner came, he painted the symbol, then he gave me water, and whispered a strange verse. He told me to memorize it and to recite it later, so that helps won't come. And there you are, then I shoot. He begins to whisper, his lips twisted in pain. To soothe smage soul, her mercy she did grant. Last breath expresses knife me heart. Removed from chest, passed on to the death. A duty blessed, a balm for those who suffer anguish and distress. A longing brought to rest, of mortal bonds the soul divest. Success does it all. He might survive, but he will be meme for life. Too much of his muscle has been charred down to the bone. Even if he does retain some ability to move, the pain will be his constant companion. His motor skills have been damaged beyond repair. A broken man or a corpse, time will tell soon. There are times when death is more merciful than life in perpetual agony. All of us must face our fate. Who are you and what happened to you? I'm Vile, a cleaner. I was in this house asleep and forces came, set fire to it. I didn't make it out in time. I wonder how long he's been sitting here like this. A watch? 3? The whisper says nobody cared because he didn't matter, but he also says he's somehow supposed to matter to us. Strange. All of us must face our fated outcome. The man shakes his head desperately, ripping open the crust that has just begun to form over his burns. No, please, I'm begging you. Lord Captain there, Fonse quickly puts the safety to the flamer and points the away from you. How may I save you? What are you doing? Burning the poor shackles, Lord Captain. The rubber build them, cutting off their air supply to the next bay and making it difficult for the Inferni to work. We've told the cities to get out of here after time, but they won't listen. Captain has ordered everything to be burned down and afterwards this area to be sealed off. Okay. Proud to save the dynasty.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
We can barely make out crudely scribed words on burned notes. The past, the market, sure then for you to operation. On the tracks I'll find a little gift for. Give it to him and you'll see for yourself.
Unexpected result.
Embrace true power. Perfection.
A group of beggars are rattling their arms marks and strenuously displaying their hunger, sunken beliefs and various disfigurements. A toothless man falls to his knees before you. Your lordship, spare a throat for those who can't even get a worthwhile job. Let your bellies are full tonight. Praise to be, Lord Captain. The pool descends on the arms like a pack of gutter rats, each one scurrying off to their own corner with what they grabbed.
The world will bow.
The Inferno's master salutes you cheerful with his ico stick. Lord Captain, what an unexpected encounter. What brings you to this compartment? The famous cuisine and magnificent vistas, no doubt. I seek the Bloodspun Web Temple. Do you know where they are hiding? I don't have the foggiest idea, and that's probably for the best. I have my hands full as it is. What are you doing? I'm here to patch up the salvage. Locomotive number 3 under the tech priest supervision. That hologram is my personal favorite on an entire freight line. Every couple of years, Savage gets mad. His boiler catches fire and starts spitting steam at the repairman. Guess what they call to take care of him in these situations? The Inferni, of course. And after I've done all the most dangerous work, that's when the Iron Brains come in. That's alright. I love Savage. When he's in a good mood, he feels you get stunned at his levers and speeding down the freight line is incredible. I envy those tech priest drivers who got to operate him every day. The roar of his boiler, the wheels chomping like mad, and all that furious power pulsing in your hands, responding to the sighter's movement. How about there is a mischievous spark in your eyes? I introduce you. Safe? Oh, I refuse to believe Savage would dare to scold the Lord Captain. He definitely should not. I could not turn down an offer like this. The panel before you is covered with technical runes, lumens, and levers. The platform shakes with the boiled mighty vibration as the iron breast beneath your feet growls and snorts ferociously. Enrich squints contentedly and whispers the litany of ignition before turning to you. The machine is angry and refuses to obey. Right now, Savage is powered only by the auxiliary maneuvering engine. We will need to start the main rotor if we want to take trip down the freight line. I will listen to the locomotive. The stubborn machine does indeed seem remarkably similar to a wild beast. The roar of the mechanism resembles a horse growling, and the scarlet glow of the lumens on the control panel makes you think of the malicious glare of the predator. The spirit of this machine is vicious, but strong and lively. What should I do? Put your hand on the big lever and gently give it a pull. Very gently. Henry's face is focused, but his voice has not lost any of its playful cheer. Savage does not like being hustled. Gently pulling. A furious jolt shakes the platform, and an indignant groan emanates from the depths of the machine. An intense shudder passes through the lever and into the palm of your hand, and there is a strange feeling of emptiness in your stomach. Savage fairly hard is stirring. Do you feel it? There is so much energy and defiance in him. This is a rocket, not a locomotive. Unruly and enamored with speed, but quite willing to submit to a strong hand. There is almost a loving tenderness in the rich voice. Pull the lever towards you, smoothly and firmly, then pump the fuel with this command rune. Smile at Enrich, unruly and defiant, but submits to a strong hand, much like yourself. A roguish gleam appears in his eyes. You don't say. Pull the lever and pump the fuel. A new explosion inside Savage shakes his iron body, causing your eyes to see double from the vibration. Now you are feeling his real power. He can run down the entire front line in a minute, given a chance, and kill everyone who rides him at the speed. Now try applying some thrust to the main rotor. Grab those spare levers and give them the tug. Reach for the ordinary carve levers and awaken the beast. A torrent of steam bursts from the slit in front of your face, but Enrich deftly covers you with his shoulder. A moment later you realize that you cannot hear a thing. Or Ratchet, you hear only one thing, a roar of the engine, triumphant and powerful. Looks like Savage has agreed not to kill us both. His tech priest's guardians will be pleased. All hail the Lord Captain. You have subdued a mighty beast today. Now I'm sure you have urgent business to attend to, and it's time for me to drive Savage down the line and see if he's feeling cranky. That was most intriguing, Enrich. I'm pleased. And he shows his eyes and groans. Could I have wished for anything more, your lordship? Have a good trip. Everything's going to be alright. Savage would never fry me, right, Savage?
Let's seize the opportunity.
A group of gawkers are crowding around the makeshift stage, watching a strange duo perform. A man with odd-looking goggles pushes on his forehead, hands wrapped in one leather glove, plays a tune on a handmade flute. Next to him sits a stack of crates supporting some kind of game board. A scruffy rat is rolling a small glass ball around the board. Several workers empty their pockets and start throwing ration card, bolt nuts and even a few power panels into the small chairs next to the board. The flute player winks at the crowd and switches to a different tune. The rat squeaks excitedly and starts rolling the colorful ball the player have chosen around the maze of tunnels on the board, but not quite a single one reaches the goal. The hole markers with the red circle. The rat just roll all the balls off the board into dead ends. Once the first group of players get their hopes dashed and leave empty-handed, new walkers immediately take their place. Watch the rat. The rat scurries around the board, spurred on by the flute. Its moves appear erratic at first glance, but after a while you notice how consistently the ball seems to miss the goal at every last moment. While the rat's clumsy, amusing scrapping distracts the spectators, its nimble tail directs the ball away from the hole. Listen to the tune. The rat's movement from the flicks of his tail to when and where it pushes the ball obeys its master wordless command with uncanny precision. The notes, the pauses, the rhythm, every part of the melody serves as a signal to the flute player tiny assistants. A fine show. A crowd which has been too absorbed in the performance to notice your presence turns to you, expression of frightful awe appearing on the workers' faces. Many start whispering prayers. The flute player his clear eyes widen in surprise. Then, with an open and firmly smile, he says, "Many a God's story of the Lord Captain generosity I told, and I swell my own flute. Today I will add another. To our fortune peddler, the Lord Captain's grace is a gift from fate itself." He applauds you with gratitude, and the workers timidly join in. Perhaps you would like to trade us some of that captain's fortune of yours, your lordship?
The flute players bow respectively and gestures at the game board. The crowd buzzes with anticipation. Who are you? I am but one of many. The man gestures broadly at the teaming station. The voice is a crowd, a cog in the mechanism, his humble servant. Flute player is all they call me because that's what I am. I make up tunes, it gives people respite after a hard day's work. This is a curious looking flute, how did you come by? He pats his instrument gently. My mother loved music, she used to hum beautiful melodies to me, and when she passed away I carved this flute from her hip bone and learned to play. Out of sorrow and respect of a memory. Play one of the local favorites for me. The flute player smiles mysteriously and brings the flute to his lips. A simple brisk melody pours out of the instrument. The gloom fades of workers and traders often a little, and the tunnels around you seem less sprawling than before. Long after the music has stopped, many continue to whistle the unassuming ditty. I've learned no words to sing, but I'm curious to know what story your melody tells. The flute player awkwardly adjusts the goggles in his forehead. The story of a simple man from the lower decks, honest with himself and others. He risks his life to protect the oppressed from those corrupted by power. He takes from rich and gives to the needy. He helps without asking anything in return. Nemesis, hero of tales, admired by children and grown folk alike. By opposing legitimate authority, your vile Nemesis tramples on the creed, and everyone who glorifies him is a criminal. The people stare shamefacedly at the floor like guilty children. One of the elders is tattered robe reaches for the homemade aquila around his neck, whispering a penitential prayer. A flute player smiles regretfully. I think the song just died, but I don't despair. Life always suggests new melodies that people will like. The flute player smiles eagerly. Please bless our little lark with your attention. This should be amusing. The man readies his flute and the rat dives under the board. You fear clawed feet scrabbling against the crate, and a few moments later a green ball pops out of the center. You have already seen through the flute player performance. You listen to him play and watch the rod closely. Then at a certain point you start tapping your fingers on the edge of the crate, adding your own rhythm to the tune. The rat scrambles in confusion, mistaking your commands for those of his master, and starts rolling the ball towards the goal. When the ball drops into the red hole, a few impressed whistles come from the crowd, and the flute player laughs hardly. Cleverly done, your lordship. Well, I had no doubt that you would be a worthy opponent, and your strategy I think I will keep in mind for my next future games. Cut the bottom from his sleeve and throw it to the man for the entertainment. Thank you for your generous gift. Those folks will shower me in rations cart to get their hands on something that belongs to lordship. Thought you gave me the brightest of the smiles today. I hope you have enjoyed yourself. I certainly won't forget my faithful meeting with the Lord Captain. The flute player clears and board in a deft movement and begins a new tune.
The world trembles beneath my feet.
Nothing escapes my sight.
Experience? Nothing matters more.
predictable.
Judging by the merchant's rounds, well-fed face, the rusty junk laid out on the counter is merely a smokescreen for a more valuable and likely illegal goods, therefore now hidden from the idle glances.
I tread a path unexplored.
A sinewy middle-aged man watches the bustle of the bay with a detached expression. Every so often, whenever his eyes linger on a blood mark inscribed nearby, his face changes strangely and his hands clench into fists. Just as you begin to hear a rumble of an approaching train, the man gazes towards the tracks. He leans forward. "What do you think you're doing?" "What? I didn't." The man starts and almost falls, but manages to keep his balance. In the dim-luminous light, you notice old scars scattered all across his body. The scars seems vaguely familiar. Look at the man's scar. The scars all vary in length, width, depth and shape. However, you notice a pattern in the way the scars are lined, as well as a series of faded symbols on the arm's rough skin. Death cultists bear similar marks on the bodies. But spinners are constantly rewarding the wounds, while this man's looks long since healed. Your eyes always return to the blood symbol. What do you know about it? It's a symbol of Bloodspalm Web. I came here every watch, but you hasn't been here before now. I guess today must be a special day. He smiles strangely. The man's faded eyes go wide as he notices Kibala. His voice quivers. "You, have you come to take me to the other side?" Kibala briefly studies the man's face, then turns away. "I do not know you. Death's gaze is not upon you." The man lets out a dull groan and turns to look at the symbol again. But then why is he here? "Who are you?" "A dead man. I lost my name years ago. I've been just another dead man ever since." "You dare insult the rogue trader with your impudence? Your body may already be covered in scars, but your tongue seems to be asking for more." "You know the symbols of Bloodspalm Web, you bear similar scars. Are you a spinner?" "I was, but I failed to complete my final assignments. I was exiled from the cult. The Vizier told me to kill the one who would be at the certain junction of the utility tunnel for at a certain hour. I went to the appointed spot, then waited an hour, 2, 5. The junction was still empty. Nobody came. After hours of watching, I finally realized the person at the junction had been me the whole time. It was my turn to go to Undying One, but I was afraid. I couldn't do my duty. I ran. The spinners simply let you go. They may not attempt to find you and kill you." That's not what I wanted. "You were ordered to die? For what reason?" The man looks at you. "But some would choose to leave the righteous path. This earn penance in due time. Her wisps sing vengeance on renegade menace. The blade passes sentence. For crowds seek to ride their hearts, but death makes no pretendence. It takes what it is due in its essence." He stopped, then adds hoarsely, "The third verse of the Song of the Trailing Blood. The Vizier restricted it to the before sending me to my final assignment. I didn't realize at the time that it was my judgment. There were plenty of reasons. I saw death. I will for him the souls of the most pleasing men and women I could find because it needed my passions
I killed well-off crewmen who didn't deserve their wealth, and I took their thrones. I killed enforcers who looked into my eyes without fear, because I wanted to be feared. I revel in bloodshed. I betrayed the tenants. I realized it, but I couldn't help it, because I enjoyed it. Oh, you poor thing. I think I'm gonna cry. You couldn't stop slicing people up. That must have been so hard for you. Even my whispers have nothing to say to a pathetic tale like that. I bet you're thinking, what a lousy self-absorbed scum. You do not sound particularly remorseful. I've spent years in remorse. I'm tired of it. Have you killed any more innocent souls since you ran? No, I've been afraid to touch my own knife since that day. Thought it might just stab me on its own, but the temptation is always here. As an Emperor anointed, I hereby overturn the Vizier's verdict. The cult ruined your life, and for what? For a few mere killings. You are right, Lord Captain. The Vizier taught me to serve, to kill. I did what I was chosen to do, and they punished me for it. They've kept me living in fear almost my whole life. The man's colorless eyes filled with malice. Thank you for opening my eyes. It's time for Separate to return, and for the dead man to disappear along with his creators. Caliber appears behind you and watches the man leave. He saved souls from bodies before they fated time, not because he honored death, but because he enjoyed killing. He did not have that right, no one does.
Intriguing.
See, right there.
How many times do I need to tell you, ungrateful maggots? Mistake must be paid for. Have mercy, the throne. I beg you. The battered worker throws himself at your feet and touches the toe of your boots with his dirty palm. Your graceful lordship, hand of the god emperor, save your unworthy servant. Get lost, the enforcer's heavy battle plummets the man's back and shoulders several times. His bone crack audibly. My sincerest apologies, Lord Captain. Your boot, I'll clean the right away. A murmur of discontent breaking out among the gawkers who have gathered around. None of the other workers dare to come closer, but the anger of the faces is plain to see. I intend to hear this man out. Your lordship, I work hard to never even take breaks to rest, and all earn is 7 ration cards with 15 months to feed back home. To feed back home. The enforcers shake me down every shift, just like they do every other honest working man who. Enough whining. You and your pals lifted a box of Nutribars a few watches ago, and 2 canisters of water before that. I didn't beat the life out of you because I took pity on you, and this is the thanks I get? You quarantined the hub for 20 watches and refused to give out rations if we didn't have cards. Cards we had all no way to earn. And today you earn 15 cards in a single shift because you do the work of 3 people, right? Or did you take your pals to a dark corner somewhere, do them in and take the share? I did them in. It was not. The worker stopped himself, cowards and whispered, "They've got their heads bashed by crates. The dead don't need rations." I didn't do them in. It was Do I have achieved glory if I had complained about every hatchet along my path? No, I press even onwards in spite of all the adversary. You so much you, and we will remember your names for it. Inspiring visage, just like the one they used for the propaganda posters, sends the serf into a frenzy of rapturous cries. You hear them channeling all their hopes to overcome the odds just as you did. Even the beaten man stares at you with a wistful smile on his lips. A sullen red branches man with keen black eyes draws your attention. His boldly piercing gaze seems to size you up the whole time you were speaking, but now he has hastened to conceal himself behind the Gorkis. The next thing you know, you are watching him hurrying deeper into the tunnels. May the God Emperor protect you all of foes von Valentius, Lord Captain.
Embrace true power.
A soldier would have been disciplined for such a performance.
Look at its container weighs as much as the whole train. Perhaps you'll have to look out, Crane.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge. An expected result.
Let's seize the opportunity. The world will bow. world trembles beneath my feet.
We should deal with this. Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
I tread a path unexplored. Triumphant, as always.
Several people are eagerly rummaging through the rack filled with weapons from the Enforcer's arsenal. A big man with pockmarked face is the first to react to your presence. He attracts the others' attention with a piercing whistle and breaks out. Who are you? There is not supposed to be anyone. It doesn't matter. Identify yourself. Take a closer look at the suspicious individuals. Makeshift armor peeks out from beneath the ragged clothes, and the battered weapons display a patchwork of crude repairs. The group stares longingly at the rack where the goods place still gleams, relentlessly clutching their humble weapons. You notice that the little finger of every person's right hand being cut off. It's hardly a coincidence. Abelas, help those wretches realize the full extent of it, and I am rogue trader Neroth von Valexius, and you will explain what is going on here. The people turn to stare at you in disbelief and exchange hatred whispers. The excitement is interrupted by a little roar. What are you gawking at? Hurry up and bend your backs as it's right proper. Your Lordship, you must excuse these blockheads. I was taken back myself. It's not every day you see the rogue trader in the flesh. And as for this, the man cast a grim glance on the rock. I won't insult you by denying it. You are caught as red-handed. Who are you? The Hard Nine, the gang. I mean, a brotherhood from Transport Bay 9. Don't think we are parasites. We do our bit for the prosperity of the ship. We are sort of assisting to the enforcers. Self-appointed. We make sure that order is maintained in compartments where the enforcers are too lazy or greedy for bribes. We put a stop to robbery and free thinking, and well, we accept a small contribution as a shallow thanks. Why do you need more weapons? Are you going rebel? To the business, the gang leader smiles ingratiatingly. We are no rebels. If anyone blasphemies against your lordship, we call the troublemakers to order, and we shed blood for the flagship without fear. I suppose that makes us defenders of the ship. The thug raises his eyebrows questionably and looks at you expectantly. Why stop there? You might as well call yourself saints and say the fate of the whole dynasty rests on your shoulders. You obviously don't expect anyone to be here. Are the enforcers providing cover for you? I wish. The newly appointed captain, had our informers strung up. He's tightening the screws, damn it. We can barely breathe. Today is the last time we come to pick over this compartment. You've got little fingers cut off. What does it mean? It's our gang initiation rite, a fine tradition. By voluntarily moving a finger, the newcomer shows the determination and willingness to join us forever. It's also a badge of honor. He proudly shows off the stamp of his little fingers. Tell me why I should execute you on the spot. You could execute us, but who would take our place? Shameless scum who rob and kill to their heart's content. Bastards who accept mutants into their gangs and pray the arch-enemy. These have always been outlaws on the ship. You are better off with outlaws like us who don't go too far and who keep their heretics away. Criminals of my ship have no fate, death.
The leader sprints to the ground in annoyance. What in the void have I seen standing here making speeches for? I thought we had ourselves an all-lord captain, but no. He's starlit lace type. Bring it on, your lordliness.
The absurdity of your struggle amuses me.
I'll turn you into corpse starch.
Stop mocking
Let's get
me.
through it. Hold on. Out of my way.
Rejoice in battle! I'll do it.
Pain and duty hand in hand. Here we go. Let's make it quick.
Purpose guides me.
Indeed. I will do my duty. That's not the Seneschal's job.
Cover me. Anything else? On it. The shadows will see it done. This goes against the tenets. I cannot serve you in this way. No. As the tenets demand.
Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet. Isn't this a job for the serfs? I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
At your beck and call.
Whispers call to me.
Let's get to it.
Just a minor.
I will avenge you. As the Emperor commands, I act. Let's get to it. If this is my
Let's get
death,
to it.
may my blood be a worthy sacrifice.
Hold on.
We're at a tactical disadvantage.
Dare you!
One step closer. Ruin beckons. Purpose guides me.
Victory is imminent. One you attack. Indeed.
Emperor, give me strength. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
I will do my duty. Grey hair, sure hand.
Out of my way.
Brace yourself, Abelard.
Time to redouble our efforts.
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
Here we go. I will triumph. Purpose guides me. I will triumph.
At your beck and call. Field medicine at its finest. Victory is imminent.
That is foolishness. Do not dare ask.
Indeed, reduced to dust.
I am a navigator. Try to die with grace, at
I've
least.
suffered worse.
Purpose guides me. I will triumph. Purpose guides me.
It will be done.
I took care of this one.
At your beck and call. I will do my duty. Someone else can do this.
I have read tomes of military tactics. Me, if you insist, Lord Captain.
Indeed. Victory is imminent.
Amidst the carnage, I find purpose. Ruin beckons.
My ears are ringing. At your beck and call.
One fewer target.
Powers unseen uncover my path.
I'm not interested.
Perfection. Intriguing. guides my gaze. I tread a path unexplored.
My warp sight reveals something.
I see the forbidden. powers unseen uncover my path. The world trembles beneath my feet.
I'm still new to the art of exploring.
Ruinous favor prevails.
These crates are typically used to transport weapons. The one-away markers make it impossible to determine where the shipment came from, and the scuffed surface indicates that the crates have been moved frequently.
Embrace true power.
The day the lock captain wandered into our slums will be remembered in legend. The broad-shouldered man raises a hand in greetings. His prosthetic creaks plaintively as he takes the weight of his body. The locals and the enforcers call me the foreman. I have no other name. You might say I'm in charge here, in this hall of a place. You recognize the shaggy red beard and the keen black eyes. This is the man who was watching you during the encounter with the enforcer and the station workers. I saw you in Marketplace. What were you doing here? Watching one of my workers take a beating. I feel sorry for the lads, but there was nothing I could do. The foreman smiles wearily, showing his yellow teeth. Almost all of the front ones have been knocked out. I've stuck my neck out in the past. Not doing it again. Tell me how life here in the low is for the workers. They toil day in and day out for the glory of the ship. The rest of the time they do their best to survive, faced with hunger, the more deranged of the enforcers avoid leprosy, fires, floods, noxious fumes, and the foreman less these of his fingers, although he has fewer than nature average to work with. In a world, it is a decent enough life. If you work, you survive. If you freeload, you also survive. If you are clever, well, and if the God Emperor wills it. I seek the Bloodspun Web Temple. Do you know where it is? The cultists don't let people like me in other rites and mysteries. I'm grateful to them for the service of the God Emperor, but to be honest, I can't get behind their love of death. I'm much too fond of living. What are you cooking in the vat? Believe it or not, the soup made from mold slime and technical drained water has been simmering here in the vat for the last 200 years non-stop. See the grove on the wall over there? We harvest it, dry it, and use it to season the soup. If we are lucky, the smell attracts the void rats and someone gets to have meat in the bowl. The foreman points a finger proudly towards the vat. It's for those who can't even earn a ration card. I feed them in exchange for services or favors. Sometimes it pays off and sometimes it doesn't. My people keep an eye out for workers trying to eat 2 bowls in one sitting. One is enough to fill your stomach for an entire watch. Some complain about its taste, of course. Ingrates. Give me some of the soup. Let my servants see that my food is great blessing. That any food is great blessing.
I don't think that's a good idea. Malt slime is something of an acquired taste. Take 2 years, maybe 3, for your stomach to get used to it. Lord Captain, you must be joking, surely. As if he's serious as a void kraken. Pour me a bowl. I know what I'm doing. As you wish. The former hand you a bowl of hot whiskey sludge. The smell could be worse, probably. I'm going to be sick. With the first spoonful comes the immediate urge to regurgitate the disgusting sludge. The heave is followed by dizziness, yet you stoically present and force a slimy chunk of something indeterminate down your throat. The crowd is gawking at you, wide-eyed. Glory to the Emperor, who nourishes us. Your words echo in absolute silence, which lasts only a moment before the starving poor erupt into prayers to you and to him, tears glistening in their eyes. The Lord Captain himself has tired out food and found it worthy. Remember to be grateful for any nourishment as it is blessing. The foreman bellows and roars while discreetly interrogating himself between you and the crowd of aesthetic commoners, who look like they might otherwise swarm you and accident to trample their overload in a frenzy of adoration. An old man in pitiful rags listening intently to the sound of your footsteps. A stinking piece of cloth is wrapped around his eyes, with greenish pools oozing out from under it. The old man says, his trembling hands protectively on a heap of junk that serves as his bed, as well as his table. An empty beggar's mug makes a clinking sound next to his withered leg. There, next to you. Weapons are usually transported in crates like those. I want to look inside. Weapons? The old man voice sounds frightened and pitiful. How could someone like that wind up in the bottom of the bile compartment? I'm a rock trader north of Verox von Valencius, and you will show me whatever I tell you to show me. Rock trader? The old man's face widens in astonishment and the bows reverently whispering. I've waited so long, hoping to one day serve you, Lord Captain. The crate... Don't miss out. A cold voice filled with the promise of death mutters. Pathetic fool. That's our secrecy gone right down the shitter. Folks, we are gonna have to make some noise. A common worker, her face so nondescript it looks almost scrubbed off, is aiming a weapon at you that she produces seemingly out of nowhere. Leave no witnesses. God, this one's
Your existence is naught but ashes.
I'll bleed you dry.
Be careful not to cross my gaze. Mist of fury. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
As honor ordains. I shall not.
Faith without deed. Show me what you've got.
Your efforts amuse me.
Suits me.
I will do my duty. Reduced to dust! It will be done. I took care of this one.
One step closer. I need no guidance. This is beneath me. Purpose guides me.
But of course. Will do. I would that I could. As honor ordains.
You're even tortured to fight like this!
As the tenant's death is a blessing.
I'm not accustomed. Another foe painted black.
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury.
I can't stand it!
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones.
At your beck and call.
Sow the seeds of discord.
Are you alright, look, Captain? Those Castro didn't hurt you, I hope. The man's prosthetic leg has been shot and carries his weight awkwardly. Why in the throw name was that? I'm not sure, perhaps those freeloaders believe in the tales of Nemesites. As it happened, I've compelled to that beast. The captain about some idiots who have been painting pictures in the wall, inciting people And what did he say? I've got everything under control. Had I known it would come to this, I would have nabbed those sods and thrown them into the pestilence pit myself. And now we've been presented by enforcers to end void damage. Who is Nemesite? Just a story they tell around here. There is this chap they say wanders the lower decks, helping the poor who can't learn a living for themselves, and standing up to the official and enforcers in defense of weak. I expect he's just a story and nothing more. I'll be speaking to the captain about what happened. Well, in your case, he certainly hear you out, and not he grims and indicates his broken ribs, you know.
Let's seize the opportunity. I tread a path unexplored. A revelation was sent to me.
Duty prevails.
The world will bow.
Wait, my little voices have shut up. Now they are just giggling quietly every time you go to touch something. How about we head back and wash our hands with soap 10 times or so? Stop being so bloody difficult. What the things the difficulties say? Your time has come, or what have you. No, please, what did I... Talk about being everywhere at once. How about we take this stuff to the marketplace? We'll get to eat soup tonight.
Just as I was taught.
This man has suffered from severe curable disease. Only via Medicaid administered in early stages would have saved him. specimen before you must be total repellent inhabitants in a compartment. They are covered in sores and bald patches glistening with pus and the stench of unwashed bodies right to your eye. One of them glowers at you and grunts, "What you want?" "For what crime did you kill this man?" Grinning, the leader spits out, "For the crime of wealth. That dead bastard had ration and fuel cells. We'll trade them for porridge." "I am the Lord Captain of the ship. On your knees, insolent scum." The outcasts look at one another and burst into hoarse, goggling cackles. "The Lord Captain in our shithole, and I'm Sen Drurus, and he is my regalia." The man exposes an armpit riddled with boils. Cassia lasts out a faint sigh, hastily covering her face with her hands. "Gracious Empress, why are we talking to these horrible people?" Abelard attentively holds out a snow-white handkerchief to her. "I fear, Lady Cassia, that these and many other questions will be left unanswered." Argenta towers over the freak, looking immaculate and unaffected. "Even the meeting wretched heretics such as these bring me joy. Wiping out every drop of corruption is still a worthy deed." You detect a note of hysteria in a vagrant's laughter. The fingers of many are convulsively trembling. And there is something in the fearless way they look at you, an indifference to death, too strange and unnatural. Why are you mutants, invalids, mauled eaters, outcasts, folk who have no place even among the lowest of the low? Some were born that way, some were driven out to keep them from spreading the contagion. The former won't let us near the vat. The enforcers try to shoot us on sight, as if it's our fault that we are born in a terrible place. We are worn in our rotten belly of the ship, foddered for disease. The outcast licks his lips, and you see a tongue studded with small, underdeveloped teeth. This is no disease, but an obvious mutation. The longer you stare at the man deviants far from human from you detect. The longer you stare at the man, the more deviations from the human form you detect. Wretches such as this, disfigured by genetic abnormalities and diseases, are the perfect breeding ground for the true corruption. The ship would be little cleaner without you. The mutant bears a back stamp that are his teeth. We'll gut you and trade what you have on you for a pile of scran. Hey, outcast, come on if you want a share of the spoils.
The absurdity of your struggle amuses me.
The monsters demand your death!
Chaos guides me. I serve the ruinous powers!
As the Emperor commands, this is why I was chosen!
Death to the weak! Ah! Chaos guides me! Out of my way!
An offering of blood. The shadows will see it done. Trust me. This goes against the tenets. I shall not fail.
Emperor, give me strength. Isn't this a job for the serfs? If only that were possible. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Ruin beckons. Purpose guides me.
I'd rather not. Someone else can do this. I've seen worse battles than this in my time. It will be done. That's not the Seneschal's job.
Anything else?
I will. Purpose guides me.
I bring ruin.
Death to non-believers!
I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act. God Emperor, move through me. Be the fire in my heart. Faith without deeds is worthless. Blessed are those who sacrifice for the Imperium.
Chaos guides me!
As honor ordains. Trust me.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
I will try. I will delight my masters with your demise. Ruin. One step closer.
I will do my duty. Indeed. What? You a target?
I need no guidance. I will triumph.
Chaos guides me!
What a satisfying demise.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone.
See my great works, masters!
As the Emperor continues, my Emperor! I am his will made manifest. I'll do it. Is why I was chosen. Doubt is for the weak. Faith without deeds is worthless. I'll do it. Don't frighten me. By the manner of their death, we shall know them.
Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around. That is foolishness. I'm afraid not.
Let's patch you up.
Ministration is a holy task.
At your beck and call. Reduced to dust. Victory is imminent.
Ruin beckons. I will triumph. I need no guidance. Allow no tribute.
Rejoice in battle! As the Emperor commands, I act.
Death to the weak!
Isn't this a job for the serfs? Face the Navigator's might! If only that were possible.
It will be done. One fewer time.
I will try what a satisfying demise. Powers unseen uncover my path. The world trembles beneath my feet.
This ocular implant was a worthwhile investment.
better myself through my service. The Emperor favors me today. Duty prevails.
Triumphant, as always. Let's seize the opportunity.
A figure in decaying tatters is rocking to and fro, muttering indistinctly in several different voices, occasionally breaking into hoarse laughter. As you come closer, she freezes and turns slowly to look at you. An ugly, rusted mask covers her face. Are you here to take Zedna to the other side? No. You are just wandering around in the dark, looking for the light, but it's nowhere to be found. Do you really not see it? Who are you? Old Zdena. Zdena the outcast, Zdena the mad, Zdena the disaster, Zdena the curse, Zdena the spirit. The woman hugs her arms to the chest and starts cackling loudly. Broken chains click at her emancipated wrist and neck. A ghost of the past, a shadow of the present, only the undying one knows, he alone. What is this repulsive place? Do you live here? The woman scratches her neck nervously. You note her deformed fingers ravaged by some unknown disease. Here, where the unfortunate meet the undeath. Here, a dumping ground for the bodies of those the undying one rejects. Here, where the pestilence dwells, Zdena welcomes them all. Talk to the ghost. Here, where Zdena lives. Yes, that sounds right. You talk to ghosts? You can hear them? Zdena points somewhere off to the side, laughs and stops herself sharply. They don't like it when people come here. No, Captain, this woman is clearly ill in both spirit and body. Best to leave her be. Her colors are all mixed, smudged, poised to reveal a pure shade of madness, and yet scarlet threads separate this trembled patch, preventing her from losing herself. Why are you wearing chains and mask? You haven't escaped from their forces, have you? Ah, these gifts they are. The chains click to announce Zdena approach for others to hear. She slides her disguised darkened palm down the rough, rusted metal of the mask. They hide, fearful of becoming like Zdena, afraid of losing face. There is a blood symbol next to you. I have seen such marks before. Is this another part of the song of the trial blood? Zdena bursts into hysteric laughter. Oh yes, the song. Here, listen. The woman starts chanting hurriedly. She wandered an eternity in dark, yet was consoled, wept foretold. And dying one's blood secrets glowed, a light to guide her fateful fold. But thread must end, and so the spider did that which was owed, her life and death to ship bestowed. She laughs again, and you will see if you learn to see. Look into the darkness, look. I cannot fathom what I'm meant to see here. You peer into the darkness, and a
gradually able to make out the outlines of objects hidden in the shadows. Rotting corpses, rough walls, the twitching death throes of infected people left here to die. You see no light in this place, only more darkness and despair. You don't see, do you? You don't see. Zdenia shakes her head frantically and starts tearing off her rags. Strips of her decaying flesh peel off along with them. You will not see until you became like Zdena, the flesh and blood of the ship. How do you become the flagship blood? Oh, Zdena will show you, and you will see the true light. Come now.
Embrace true power.
Your tendon blades promise nothing but a senseless and brutal death. Slipping past them would require some unreasonably precise calculation, or blink luck. While listening to the air currents, for a moment you think you hear Zdena whispered praise rising from the depths of the shaft. Call upon the ruinous power. I am willing to take the risk so that I may learn the secrets of the blood-spilled web, but I need your aid. A confident smile that is not your own appears on your lips. The rumbling blades no longer seem dangerous, and the prospect of jumping becomes a mere trifle. Put your life in there, laying one's hands to many corpse.
Intriguing. Perfection. The world will bow. I tread a path unexplored. Let's seize the opportunity. Ruinous favor prevails. Embrace true power.
A frail old man, grey beard tinged with blood, folds his wrinkled hands in a ritual gesture. His body is covered in scars, some old, some fresh. His eyes are sewn tightly shut. His mouth is cleft at both corners, making his jaw seem eerie, snake-like. And the Lord of the Ark walked the path of life, in the footsteps of the web's very first spinner. And the servants of death bow before him, for the Domin is the giver of life. The old man goes still, his head turned to the side. He nods towards the temple's muffled silence. Yes, yes, the truth, like the stream pours from your lips. We welcome him as the tenants demand. Your hues are almost as pale as the grey of your beard. But what is this? Cassia flinches and takes a shuddering breath. A scarlet will shines through the faded colours. A servant of death who seems beyond the threshold. A spinner who spins a cocoon at the end of his thread. Dira shakes her hands and clutches the temples. Sorry about that. It just came over me. I didn't say anything too weird, did I? A thin blade appears in the old man's trembling hands. Although his arms are stiff and look like they can barely bend, in the next instant the dynasty's symbol is etched on his forehead, dripping blood. With a brief motion, the flakes of the blood of his blade and several drops land on your face. The blood-spun web welcomes its new lord. I am Vizier. For many years we have waited, and now you are here. We have waited, whispers Echo, his words from the shadows. Why is it that you invited me? Death whispered your name and commanded us to honor you with a sacred ritual. But only inside the temple can the spinners perform it. The Vizier is suddenly distracted by someone invisible and nods towards empty space. Yes, we are glad he has reached this place. We are glad to serve.
What do you mean? You have waited for many years. It was not so long ago that I had made my acquaintance with the cult. As I delve into my divinations from the flesh and blood of the departed ones, I turn to a relic most ancient and priceless. It is his turret, inherited by the cult from the matriarch spider who spun the first thread. One of the readings I did back when I still had the strength to leave the temple and usher souls on their final journey. That was when, in this intricate tangle of destiny, I glimpsed our meeting. And when we would meet, alas, was not revealed to me. So we waited, years after years, and now the hour has come. A sense of strange disturbance around the Vizia. It is similar to the one that appears around Kibala, but stronger. He is not a psyker, or else he is such a powerful one that he can conceal his gift. However, his psychic potential is definitely higher than that of an average mortal. There are people like that in Imperium, undiscovered by Inquisition hunters. They live out their lives as individuals with a reputation for having strange things happen on occasion around them. Perhaps this decrepit old man is indeed capable of gleaming something more than an emperor's turret than just painted pictures. Vizia is the sum of title. Is the name we give to our first spinner, the one who has learned the wisdom of our tenets of the webs in order to lead others. I may have a duty to instruct and spin blood threads, but in all others ways I am as much his servant as yours as anyone else's in this temple. So you just walk to companions in here the normal way. What? So you just walked my companions in here normal way while I was forced to take that jump. The spinners guided them along the different trail. You had to take the step, for only you were meant to become the flagship's blood domain. There was no reason to test the faith of those who follow you, but this burden was for their lord to bear. How did you manage to erect an entire temple in the middle of the ship without anyone noticing? Followers of the cults once inhabited the tunnels between the bay's bulkheads until the threads of the fate were tangled and a domain of ages past gave us this compartment. We set ourselves to building spacious halls where the shadows, the image of him, and the spinners themselves would whisper to death. And thus the temple that you see began to change with the succession of viziers in the cult's generations. We are building it still, slowly but surely. I expect a great respect from one who so eagerly anticipated a meeting with a road trader. Struggling to suppress the tremors of his body, the vizier bows as low as his hunched back follows. Allows. Forgive us our poor manners. Our intentions was not to insult you. You are the first visitors from the upper decks we have had in a great many years, and the custom of long-time servants of death are somewhat different, but rest assured that there is no disrespect in them. I have walked the path of the matriarch spider. What now? The song of a trial blood tells of a path fraught with trials. By accepting it and setting on our path, you passed first one, the trial of resolve. For not everyone is preparing to shun their fear and doubt and embark on the search for the unknown, a search for death. The trial for compassion was the second one. You passed it when you put yourself, albeit briefly, in the service of another soul, a man suffering from burns. For the choice between life and death is to be made only by those willing to take responsibility for the pain of another. The third was the trial of justice. In assuming the role of a judge for the apostate of our fate, you declared your right to influence the balance of life and death that the errant soul had upset. And the fourth was the trial of duty, for duty always leads to death. We are prepared to render our duty to the Undying One, fearless and accepting of our purpose, which is to serve him. You too have proven yourself prepared, and the 4 trials have brought you here. Was the trials truly necessary? Would not conversation have sufficed? The vizier bows his head guiltily. Such are the tenets of the web. They are all we have ever known, and the only life we have learned to live. The path you walked was a gift from the Undying One, and so we decided that we will honor you.
The vizier's sun-shot eye seems to peer into your face, studying it. Then he tilts away and speaks into empty space. Peace, my brothers, the time has almost come. Who is it that you talk all the time? The vizier turns his head as he's looking around the temple. I see echoes of those who came before us and those who were with us, but have since crossed over to the other side. My brothers and sisters raised by the cult, I hear them from beyond the depths. They share the wisdom, I heed them. The other spinners, they hear not, for that burdens is mine to bear. I see your eyes are shown shut. Are you blind, or is just another of the cultist ritual? I was sighted for much of my life until a discipline of mine violated the tenets, and I realized just how blind I had been. A lesson, but a bitter one. To look with one's eyes alone is to be easily fooled, but the heart cannot be lied to. Such is the truth, and such was my choice. I sealed my eyelids with a gaze of true sight. Now I see more and better. So the entire conversation is another test, I imagine. As Mike raises a vizier's blushes lips, the tenants command us to be prepared for all trials, corporeal and spiritual alike. Are you prepared, Domin Nerothvox? His mouth closes, but you can still hear his whisper. A prickling sensation in your face is making you increasingly anxious. You raise a hand to your cheek, only to realize you can't feel it. You look at your palm and see a few smudged drops of blood from your vizier's blade. A strange serene calm envelops your body. Your fatigue subdues and you seem to float in the air, seeing things you had not noticed before. The shadows in the corners taking on shape and color, the subdued lumen light playing on the cultists' bone masks. Are they really masks? The tall, lean, empty-eyed wearers might as well be dead people. A chill runs down your spine. What is the meaning of this? Your heart is beating slowly, your breathing has become deeper, and your thoughts are muddled. You seem to be under influence of a potent stimulant. And what's happening now? This is for you to tell me. You look at the vizier and his trembling frame seems small and insignificant. A single step is all it would take to crush him. But the visions are starting to wear off, and now the old man towers over you. The keen gaze of his sealed eyes is studying your every movement, waiting for a response. Now you are going to initiate me as a servant of death. The vizier ponders your words for a long time, whispers something to the empty space behind your shoulder, then shakes his twitching head. Our threat is repellent to you, Domin Nerothvox. You proved it by walking the matriarch's path in your own way. It is your right, and we respect your choice. However, only one who accepts the essence of death may become its servant. You accept your own essence, and we dare not burden you with our dogma. For years we have maintained fealty to the Domini. We have collected sacred symbols and relics. You are the first in 3 generations of lords and ladies to descend into this sanctum. We are grateful. We are uplifted in spirit. Hear our exultation and accept this gift of vestment, sewn from the bones of his faithful with the thread of death. That which was foretold has come to pass. The ritual of descent is complete. Now be this temple's guest of honor and rest a while. spinner, his face covered in carved, bleeding glyphs, makes a respectful gesture of invitation. Let me show you the way, Domin. Take me to the enforcer in charge of the freight line hub. I have business with him. Captain has acquired a few wounds since your last conversation. Half of his ears is gone, and you notice that he is wearing bloodied bandages under his uniform. Seeing you, he quickly inject himself with a stimulant and straightens. How may I save you, Lord? Were you in shootout? Yes, there's been a raid of a local gang. We finally cleared out the scoundrels who were smuggling goods to the neighboring compartments. No one escaped. Captain permits himself a brief smile of extreme satisfaction. I was attacked. The captain lets out a menacing growl and his face fills with blood. Who dared? I only going to ask this once. How did the wretches from the lowest decks get their hands on a crate of autoguns? Autoguns? Purple spots appear in his face. What take me? They couldn't have bypassed the security of a munition train and walk away with the cargo without help from someone in the enforcers. I executed one reprobate who was trafficking in weapons not long ago, but even that moron wasn't so eagerly and stupid as to arm the rabble with autoguns. So there is another who dishonors the enforcers' uniforms. I will find the maggot and shove their head under a passing train. The foreman believes that the people who stole the autoguns are connected to Nemesite. The foreman. You wouldn't believe the kind of thug he welcomes at his vat. I agree that sympathizers of Nemesite's anarchic cause may be involved in this outrage, but I don't trust the foreman character. He knows everyone in the bay, he seems everything, but he never informs on one of your own. He only complains about problems I'm already well aware of. I encountered mutants in the Pestilence Pit. They seems to be under the influence of unholy powers. You went to the Pestilence Pits? You into the Pestilence Pits? The captain stares off in the distance as he speaks. Pardon me, Lord Captain, I just can't even begin to find the words I would use if I had to tell the Master-at-Arms that you had perished in there. He raps his temple warningly. The enforcers do regular check to see if there are any dangerous, blight-stricken rejects hiding at the bottom of the bay. I implore you, Lord Captain, leave this job to us. There are thieves in one of the technical rooms. I have already dispatched them. Thieves? I just had an enforcer hanged for dealing with a local gang. I had hoped that the lesson had been learned. The captain winces as if from pain. By the Emperor, Lord Captain, why must you be unconcerned with your own safety? It is our duty to find and shoot lawless scum. Throne, you are going to become the best enforcer in the bay at this rate. I came across a drawing of a worker in a red mask. What does it mean? The captain frowns. It's a figure of local legend known as Nemesite, protector of the poor and oppressed. Ever since I was a child, desperate people have been drawing his portrait on the walls, hoping to summon a defender to punish those who've wronged them. We've had 13 or so souls calling themselves Nemesite over the past 5 years. We disturbed ourselves of them. We disburden ourselves of them, just to be sure. I find these sentiments disconcerting. Stay vigilant, Captain. Always look Captain. Enforcers have been approaching ration carts from workers returning from the shift. Why is that? Are you short on provisions? The commandment has just enough food to avoid starvation, Lord Captain. This is why the enforcers are making sure that no serf has more cards than they're supposed to. They used to rip out people's tongues for it, but I reduced the punishment to simply beating the thieves and confiscating all the cards. The orders are to give these cards to workers who are starving due to a lack of work shifts. Not that it helps them much, but it's better than nothing, the captain scoffs. Are the enforcers guilty of misappropriation the confiscated items? Yes. Do the Scots stealing receive severe punishment? Absolutely. Finishing inspecting the bay. The captain raises a wary eyebrow. Will there be any orders based on the inspection conclusions? The source of all of these compartment wars are hunger and poverty, which drives those people to commit petty crimes. I'm sure you would have done something by now, but there are certain rules you have to follow that are simply too limiting. Isn't that right? The captain throws up his hand. We are hard pressed for resources, your lordship. Provision, medicine and fuel are all being funneled to bays that house more valuable crew members. He frowns slightly. I will admit that I have been occasionally tempted to overstep certain boundaries in a ship's regulation. Let's consider those two problems. Not enough food in the vat and too many starving people around it. What could you do? A deep furrow cuts through the captain's forehead, then his eyes light up with a spark of curiosity and he says tentatively, we could shorten the queue to the vat and fill the vat with the acquired resource. While they are alive and have nutrition and value, the cost unequal. He casts an inquiry look at you. Medicae is short in supply that people are killing each other for it. Perhaps there's a way out. We have faith healers in the bay practicing superstition-based medicine that lens specialists have deemed to be useless at best. At present, enforcers are forbidding these quacks from healing people, but lifting the ban on the absolute portion would someone elevate the medicine shortage. He stopped, apparently surprised by his own boldness. Don't be shy, Captain. Just tell me what you think could be done to make people's lives at least a little bit better. We are short on purified air. It currently goes through 3 sacred cycles of filtration, but that takes a long time. Would a single sacred cycle be too egregious of a departure from the sanitation code? The circumstances begin what they are. That's an excellent idea. I commend you, Captain. Get it done. Inspired by approval, the captain exclaimed enthusiastically, "At once, Lord Captain." Captain, this report. Your orders have been carried out. The compartment is already operating according to the new procedure.
The world trembles beneath my feet. The world will bow.
A strange trance broke out of my body after visiting the lower. Can you help me? Adalbert carefully studies the inflamed blisters on his skin. An affliction of the unclean, your lordship. Those who have abandoned his light and shunned all care of the body, as well as the spirit. Allow me to cleanse your mortal flesh of the sins corrupted with the sensitive prayer. Let us pray, Confessor. Adalbert opens a hefty volume titled The Silver Hymn of Sufferers and recites the first 40 verses with a chanting voice. 2 hours of incessant prayers later, despite your knees and shoulders burning with strain, your inflammation skin still torments you with unbearable itching. Nothing has changed, the rush is still there. Grace descends upon those who are filled with humility and patience, your lordship. Continue. The vigil continues for 2 more hours straight. Your mind is clearer and you feel much better, but it's still not enough to rid you of the affliction. And bless thy loyal servants to strength the healthy many return to the body that guards the borders of the Imperium. At some point the ship evening going breaks your stupor and you note with surprise that your senseless blisters are gone and your skin is now barely even red where it was previously inflamed. Adalbert dabs at the sweat of his brow with the edge of his robe and smiles wearily. The God Emperor never abandons his faithful, your lordship. Rest now, you'll soon feel much better.